Hi, this is Todd Kelting. This is Tuesdays with Todd, the video edition. Today we are putting the pieces together. Actually, I'm not really doing a good job of that right now. I'm at an impasse. But we are putting the pieces together on the concept of breaching the lease, what we do with tenants who have breached the lease in Maryland. For a tenant who has breached the lease in the middle of a lease term, there are two different length notices that can be issued to those tenants. The traditional notice is a 30-day notice to vacate based on normal breaches of the lease. We'll call those breaches like excessive noise or smoking in the apartment when the lease prohibits it, having an unauthorized occupant, or having a pet that's not supposed to be there. The 30-day notice is more standard. The shorter 14-day notice is for serious breaches where there is a risk of harm being done to either people on the property or the property itself. These notices are for tenants who are engaged in acts of violence or threats of violence, or who are dealing drugs on your property, things like that. So these notices are the first step in being able to remove a tenant from a property who's breached the lease. The notice that's required in Montgomery County requires very specific language. I highly recommend that you have an attorney like me draft those notices. But notices don't have to be drafted by attorneys in the state of Maryland. They can be drafted by landlords. We're just better at it. And so if you have a tenant who's breached the lease, either a serious breach that warrants a 14-day notice or a more standard breach where a 13-day notice would be appropriate, all I need to draft a notice like that is a copy of the lease and a description of what the violation is, and I can get a notice drafted. So that's the first step in dealing with tenants who breach the lease. We'll talk more next week on the next episode of Tuesdays with Todd.